What's up, boys? It's Big Country, and I'm here to do a little controversial video. Is saddle hunting worth switching over? I know you want to sell your daddy's tree stand, you want to get out of your grandpa's ladder stand. I think it's time. This might be the most elite way to deer hunt ever that I've ever seen. So let me get into it, tell you why I switched over, and show you a little bit about this stuff. All right, go ahead and show us what these ropes are, what they're called, what they do, if you do not mind.
Well, first off, this is your lineman's belt. And whenever you store this or whatever, you never untie it, and you put it on your little loop.
Gotcha.
Your lineman's belt.
Okay.
And whenever you're, I'll just go ahead and show you this too. Like how easy. Unless you're one of them people who's OCD and stuff. I mean, you can just put that in there like that.
Right.
And it don't get in your way at all, anything. And this rope is your tether, and it's literally the same exact thing. It's no different.
Gotcha.
And you just always leave that one.
So what's the lineman belt do?
It's keeps you from falling while you're climbing.
So you use the lineman belt strictly for climbing.
When you're climbing. I've got the platform already on here, and I showed you guys how to put the sticks on, but I'll just go ahead and show you. Just imagine this as a stick. And this is what I would do. I put my first stick on. And really, I usually put my first two sticks up on from the ground. And take this and wrap it around. And then see where this one's hooked?
Yep.
You want to hook it in the same one. You don't want to hook it in the one with your bridge on it.
Gotcha.
I'll show you what the bridge is here in a second. Make sure you tighten everything down. Check everything. Make sure you're attached everywhere. And I always check my knots to make sure this ain't hanging out or anything.
Right.
And this is how you adjust it. You literally just, and it gets a lot tighter whenever you're actually tied up on it.
Right.
But I'm up on the stick right now, right? And if I'm too far back like this, you just grab it, cinch it up a little bit. And then I'd have my other stick. Actually, hand me that stick, I'll show you. And I just put a piece of paracord on the end of mine.
Yep.
There's several ways you can do that. This is how I've got mine. Oh, redo this.
Homeboy dropped it.
Yeah, it's flipped weird.
I know, right?
Normally I don't want it the other way too.
Yeah, you can go ahead and fix that for me.
Let me think how I've got.
Need me to do it for you? Yeah, that's how you'd have it probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually been struggling with that myself.
Watch this. Alright, so I've got the paracord on my stick, and you can do that any type of way you want. That's just how I've got mine. I just literally just tied it on there and burnt the ends of it. And then I keep a carabiner like that, and I always just leave this one loose.
So then you just push in and unhook.
Yeah, and I'll show you how I unhook it and everything. It's not difficult like you think it would be. But this is how I would be climbing up, except I'd have this.
So instead of this being a platform, boys, this would normally be your stick. This tree isn't tall enough for us to climb it all the way up, but this would be, he would be normally standing on his first stick, and then he's going to be going and putting on his second stick.
And I would have this stick here. I would actually have another stick in the same exact spot on this side.
Gotcha.
And then my platform, I always hook them on the back.
Gotcha.
And the same exact way for all of them. Just all on a carabiner with a rope. Whenever I get here,
unclip.
See how easy that was? It's not difficult or anything. But like I get up here and I just go like this. And then I'd do the same exact thing I showed you before. And if you get to here, like see how it's kind of like right on that?
Yep.
You can pick it up a little bit, like this. And you can turn them sideways. And get it in that closest one better. I don't think I did it in the closest one, did I? And just something like this. Just put that on there.
And then
it
you're
ain't
good.
Flopping everywhere.
Right. Your sticks.
Yeah, this is pretty common too. People get this stealth wrap and wrap around their sticks, and it just makes it so much quieter. Like,
right.
I mean, you hear it a little, but
yeah, versus metal on metal, total different. Exactly.
And you can get these in a bigger size. This is probably like a 3/16. I think you can get them in a quarter.
What, the daisy chains?
Yeah, the daisy chains, so you can do away with this too.
So you can do away with your strap.
Yeah, so, because I mean, this right here would 100% hold you in your...
This daisy chain would work for that platform.
I just trust this a little more.
Right, but you're saying you can get a bigger daisy chain to put on.
I trust this a little more is because you can just get this just a little bit tighter than you can these on your platform.
Gotcha.
But really, like if you're putting your, you hear that?
Yep. That's horrible.
So loud.
So loud.
And it does that too. Like, I mean, there's like, you can loosen this and make it a little bit looser, and you can do it real slow. But like if you, I mean, that's so loud.
Dang, that's a great point. I've got to get one of those, boys. That's a game changer.
I do mine whenever I'm actually like for real setting it up. I'll leave it open that much, maybe. I'll take it, and I'm usually hanging from a tree and strapped in, and I can use both hands a lot easier.
Right.
But we'll do that right here. These things ain't terrible. It's just way more convenient to use the daisy chain.
Right.
Hook it on your.
Also seems like the daisy chains like to stick to the backside of the tree and help you out a little bit.
And this is one thing I don't like about these. Like if you pick that up, this falls.
Your strap, right.
And then you gotta
pull it back up.
Pull it back up, and I like to put it above like this, not like dead level.
Okay.
I put it up a little bit.
And then cinch down.
Yeah. And then cinch it down, and you can do it level, but I just feel like it gets it better.
Right.
Bite when it's up a little higher. And this is why I don't like these, because you gotta sit here and try to crank them down, make sure they're tight. And then you're here. And this thing.
She bites down, don't she?
Yeah, I could. And if you want to, you can give her a jump and even get up here and jump on that. But
so that's how you put your platform on. I will say, I like the efficiency of the daisy chains more, but I could understand if you're a bigger guy and you're wanting something you want, you know, trust a little more. No wrongdoing in going with the straps, boys.
And you can even put 2 daisy chains on there that size.
That's
put 2, and then you're definitely not.
So you could use 2 daisy chains instead of the strap. Obviously, that would hold you.
Or you can get the bigger.
Yep. And that is how that will look when you've got that on there correct.
And this is how I do mine right now currently. It's kind of junky, the way this is set up, but this is what I hook my platform to on my saddle.
As you're climbing up.
As I climb up.
Gotcha.
I'm sure there's better ways to do that too, but that's just what I got right now.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I would like a cable a little more.
Yeah, that's something.
A rubberized cable, but that's not bad. So we've showed you how to put your stick on. We've showed you how to put the platform on. We've showed you what the lineman belt is. We've showed you what these daisy chains are. Go ahead and show you all how we utilize the tree tether, okay? It's one of the most important things that you'll need and have to use if you're hunting out of a saddle, all right?
Your bridge, and it's super simple too. Like when I walk in, and you don't ever, once you figure out where you want this thing, you don't ever really adjust it. Like this is a one-time adjustment mainly. When I walk in though, I take this, and I always leave all this hooked up so I don't have to do it in the dark whenever I get there. And whenever I walk in though, I take this, and I'll just like stuff it right here, just so you don't get it caught on anything and stuff.
Gotcha.
I know it looks messy, like I said, unless you're OCD or something, but it works. It works perfectly fine. And then I just pull it out like that, and then it's ready. And it's got the same exact kind of knot on it. It just adjusts just like the other one. Just tighten and loosen.
Gotcha.
You got it hooked in the carabiner. Like I said, you want to always make sure you're tight and your knots look good.
Good to know.
And then this is what you would do once you're about to get ready. You're standing on your platform, lineman's belt's on, and you're ready to put your tree tether on. And this is where I keep the tree tether, in this pouch over here. And you just take this, and it's the same exact rope as your lineman's belt. It looks no different, same knots, same everything. It adjusts, you just pull.
Right.
Loosen. One thing I always do is You got your loop end, and then you got your end of the knot. I always keep this slide down whenever I'm out of a tree. That way, whenever I get back up in it, because you got to feed all this through this knot or this hole.
Gotcha.
So, and if you've got it all the way up here, I'll just show you how it don't work. You got all this up here, and you're trying to feed that plumb over here.
So you're saying it's not.
Yeah, you see how it's all the way over here?
Yeah.
And then I have to get it here. If you just keep it pulled down to the end of it, whenever, at all times while you're knotting the tree, you can just take all of it at once.
And then cinch it down.
Put it in there, and then you just cinch it in there. And then you don't have to put it on a limb or nothing. Honestly, I like to put it around the tree, but I also like to have a limb to put it around the tree. That way, if I know it's not going to, but if it ever did slide down or anything, this limb will catch it.
You can also, just so you know, if you're ever worried about the rope sliding down, you can also just go right back through that knot again, and then it will not slide.
All right, like this. And then it'll never slide.
So basically, he's just put a double knot in that.
Now it can't slide.
Now it's impossible because that knot will not loosen up. This will not loosen up.
Okay, and this is where your bridge comes into play. You just pull it up, hook it in. See, I've got all my weight on my lineman's belt right now.
Right here. And this is not what you're going to end up hunting with. This will come.
And if you want to be super extra cautious, you can leave it on. But it really is just annoying. Now here, see, it ain't adjusted right for me right now.
Boom.
See, and I get that weight off of this, and then you can kind of stand there. Take this back off.
So he's taking off his lineman's belt and transferring his weight to the tree tether.
Oh, now you can just fold this back up. Like I said, I'm not too particular, so I just stuff it down in there. Now I've got all my weight on this, and literally you can go all the way around this tree. This is what my biggest concern about before I switched was this. Feels like it's a lot going on, but it's really not ever in your way. Like ever.
Right. Normally, boys, the stick wouldn't be here. This obviously wouldn't be here.
I can't like put my knees up. I'll take it off real quick.
So that wouldn't even be there. We were just using that for demonstration purposes. So normally, your tree's gonna look like that.
This. And normally, I wouldn't, like this knot's too low for me. It would be more like, I try to reach really about as high as I can.
So you like a different type of sway angle.
Yes, and I like to put this up way higher.
Gotcha. So that changes your string angle, your rope angle, sorry.
Yeah, and it just, because like right now, it's like, I can't explain it, it just feels weird. You'd understand, but. And then I always, even whenever it's that high, my thing right here is usually, I might have that much rope up here. I do all the adjusting here.
Really?
Once it's there, I leave it, and I know about where I like this. So I'll just pull it up to where I like this, and I never have to touch any of this ever again.
Gotcha.
But like as far as shooting wise, and like I said, I'm on a limb hanging out this way, and it's going to pull you naturally a little bit. Ordinarily, you wouldn't hook to a limb like this.
Yeah, what he's saying is this is actually a limb that branches off and runs this way. Instead
of having it around here.
We're obviously not going to use that because it's dead, and this is the only decent tree. But
like I said, if you wanted to, say there's a deer coming behind you and you spot him, you can stand like this and watch him walk. Watch him walk, watch him walk, and you want to shoot him right here, you just wait. You're just sitting here waiting for him. And then you can draw back right here and you can shoot. Literally all this.
Right. No limits.
No limits, all this, and really you could just do this. If you had one coming behind you, sit like this, you can shoot.
Yeah, will you show that again, how you did that? Because I actually utilize this way to hunt more than any way I've ever done in my life.
And I I say if I think the deer is going to come from this way,
Yep.
I put everything on this way. So I
Gotcha.
can stand like this, or I'll stand like this, up against the tree, whatever. Knees on the tree, knees around the tree, like this.
Go ahead and do that though. How you put the rope over your shoulder. I want them to see
so
that.
If you got one coming behind you, you just take this and you just stand up, and you're just standing there, just like you would in a normal tree stand. Then you turn. All you gotta do is take this and then just put it over your shoulder. You can sit like this. Nothing's in your way at all. Nothing's ever in your way, really. And then you've got, I mean,
Everything.
all this. Would walk over here, but while this thing's leaning, I gotta fall down because it's leaning so bad.
Right.
That's how you don't put a platform.
Well, this is probably the worst tree. Listen, this is another thing you got to think about when you're getting into saddle hunting. Is just like when you're using a climber stand, but you ain't got to be as picky. Pick good trees that are going to set you up for a successful hunt. Something that's going to, better you. You don't want to get in a tree that's going to be bad on you. All right, boys. So
if you find this tree, it's got 7,000 knots in it. You don't want to get in it.
Facts.
This is what's hurting. Is all these.
Yeah, the knots.
There's knots everywhere in it.
Everywhere in the trees, keeping him from being able to have a good bite.
And like I'll take when I pull my bow up, I'll have my bowstring, and I'll just tie it around right here. Just make it and tie it, just a regular knot. It ain't gonna be nothing fancy. You can take this, take it off, and hook it on your string, and that's what I hang my backpack from, and that's what I put my knee on.
Good to know. I love that. I love that. All right, boys. Well, I feel like that's everything. You got any other things you want to say? All right, so we're gonna put a wrap on this video. One of the main reasons I switched to a saddle is because of the weight. I love the weight difference. I know Hawk come out with I believe a climber stand that weighs like 14 or 15. Muddy has one for 14, 15 pounds, and then Summit has one for around 15, 16 pounds. My total setup, and my setup is actually quite bigger than most saddle setups. My setup, I think, weighs like 13 and a half pounds total. That's saddle, sticks, and the platform. But keep in mind, my platform is massive, my sticks are good, and my saddle is pretty heavy for saddle hunting. But you can get in the saddle hunting and have some of the most lightest gear, the smallest gear, and like really get your weight below, like I feel like 10 pounds. And that's crazy. And you gotta think, it's compact. I mean, you got your platform and your sticks, and it fits on the back of your backpack, boys. So it's just game changing when you're hiking and you're walking long distance in the woods.
This is how you want stick.
Right. Anyways, so it's just game changing. Climber stands are just so massive. The width and the height, and walking through and trying to climb in them is just so difficult. So if you don't mind, give me a like, a comment, a subscribe. Go share this video to that boy that's been thinking about, heck, dude, I want to buy a freaking, a saddle. Just push him over the edge. All right, boys, I'm out.